Hey, how's everyone? Today I'm going to be doing a FYI Gossip, and I'm going to be discussing different topics about something scary, something funny, so keep watching. Hey, I just wanted to talk about something. I was talking with my sister yesterday, and I was mentioning to her, pick one, A or B, and she picked B. So the whole point of it was I wanted to get, an idea of just her intuition on a pick that I wanted. Okay, I chose two people to do beats for my song, which I have another song that I created, and I'm gonna be getting the beats for it. So she said, oh, B. So I'm like, okay. But I'm gonna pick both of them just to see how it sounds with using both, to see which one I like better for my song. So then we started talking about, it's called this rapper. She said, oh, have you seen this rapper called The Game? I'm like, and I didn't know him by his name. So then I was on the phone, put her on speaker, and I Googled him, and I said, okay, I remember the face because I seen a show that was on TV where he had a lot of girls on the show, and the whole point of the show was for him to, I guess, go out with one of the girls. There was a whole, I'm like, for me, I wouldn't do that. I'm not gonna go on those shows just to meet a guy. People want to do that, okay, fine, but I just think that you can't find a real love like that. So it is what it is. But when I heard the name, I'm like, why would he pick that name? Okay, you know how you playing basketball? Hey, we go play that game, baby. He chose the name, but why he gotta pick? I mean, out of all names, why he gotta pick that name? He could have picked a better name. And I was joking around and saying, Mr. Belvedere. You know how you got a maid and then where's the little tablet? Mr. Belvedere. Yes, Mr. Belvedere. I mean, it's like, why would he pick that name? It's kind of like The Game, okay? It doesn't sound like a common rapper name, My name is not common, but I picked, my name is Fariah. But Mr. Belvedere. And it's like, The Game. Okay, let's go play some basketball. Hey, let's go to The Game. Yeah, I guess that's why he picked that name. But it was funny to me. I just didn't say anything to my sister because the whole point of it was that I went online because she said, oh, he has some big, big package. I'm like, whatever. I don't believe that shit. So I went and then, had pictures of him with all his tattoos. He had his underwears on. So then, okay, I seen it, but then there was one where he had a red one on. And I was like, it's not that big. The way my sister was like, yes it is, yes it is. So then I seen another one where he had his white underwears, boxers on, or underwears he had on. And okay, it was a little bigger, but I mean, my sister exaggerates. It's not that big the way she makes it seem, But okay, he's big, but not that big, okay? But the whole point of it is, I guess, after we were talking about different things, different topics and stuff, and all of a sudden last night I had a dream that I was at, it looked like an event. He was sitting all the way to that side. It was kind of like of a distance, and I was sitting maybe on this side on a seat. So the point of it is that he turns around and looks at me, and then I'm like, oh, I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, why do I got a dream about him? Like, now that, it's talking about the, my sister said it, I'm like, I dreamed, and then he turned back, and I'm like, what's the point? It's like, it's not that I was thinking about the rapper, it was just, I don't know, I just had a dream. So sometimes your mind wanders off to whatever, but it was kind of funny because my sister, she said that, and I'm like, I had to see if it was true or not, but whatever. It has no sense, but it was kind of funny. Mr. Belvedere. And then he picked The Game. The Game. I mean, why would he pick that name out of, names? But it's just to make fun. Not that I'm trying to make fun of his name, but it's like, oh, let's go play some basketball game. Let's go. The Game. It's just still kind of funny to me, you know. But I mean, there's so many. Why I picked Farah, because I was looking for so many names, and it's like this one was taken, that one was taken, this one was taken, that one was, and I'm like unique but not so common. And okay, I picked that name, and I'm trying to work on, you know, getting the song ready and stuff, because I had did another one and I had, you know, lyrics ready and everything, but the person that I picked didn't know how to do beats at all. And I even, look, I don't gotta be keeping my track quiet, but if you don't know how to do something, I'm gonna let you know. Look, that doesn't sound right. What you did doesn't go with my song. You didn't coordinate the alignment with the beats and my lyrics, and it's like a waste of time. So I'm like, you know what? I said I want something better, something that's pop. So I wrote another song, and that's the one I picked. I already have it in the audio, and that's the one I'm gonna be using for my song. Of course, I am doing rap, and you know, I also can sing I like to sing, you know, like a little bit, like I think I sang a little bit before, and I sang a little bit in Spanish, and then not so much in English, but I can sing in English too. But it's just when it comes to the rhythm of the song and just getting into it is awesome. And I'm gonna talk about a story that happened to my mom when she was in the Dominican Republic. This happened to her a few years ago. We had a house over there. The house, the bedroom in the apartment in the bottom had like maybe like 8 rooms or something like that, and the one in the top was like more of a studio, and she was staying at the one in the top. So what happened was that when she was there, something would knock on her door, but she would look, there was nobody at the door. So she was kind of like wondering, like, you know, what's going on. And then when she was taking a bath in the bathroom, she heard knocking in the bathroom. Someone was knocking, and she was kind of scared because she knew she was by herself. So this started happening. So then it was constantly starting to happen that she went and told my cousin to stay with her because she was getting scared. So then she was sleeping and she had a dream, and it was like, in the dream, it was like the spirit told her, said, look, it was me knocking on your door. I'm telling you, this is what happened to my mother. I've been the one knocking on your door, and I have money buried at the back of the house, and I lived years ago. I have that buried. To be able to rest in peace, the spirit had to give out that, you know, the money to my mother, had to give out the money to the poorest people in the area or whatever. But the thing is that when you're doing like a pact with a spirit, you have to do it. If you don't do it, then the spirit ain't gonna leave you in peace. So she's like, I'm not doing that shit. And then the spirit told her in the dream that she would have to come at midnight to the back of the house alone, and it would bring the money up. But my mother was like, I am not doing that. I am not gonna be doing that. So she decided not to do, because the spirit knew that she had a good heart. So that's why it came to her. So even after that, she kept on hearing the knockings at the door, at the entrance of the door, and there was nobody there, and in the bathroom. So it's like she just kind of like ignored it and stuff, and she like literally had to say something to the spirit. I am not doing that, like out loud and stuff. So she came back to, you know, back from the trip, and after that, you know, after a while, she just like sold the house that we had over there. But it was crazy though, because I remember when I was younger, the bottom part had those bedrooms, but it was like something was going on in those, because nobody was staying there. It was empty. We hadn't rented it, and all the doors had, it looked like marks on it, like knife marks, like someone hit the doors like with knife marks in each door. So it was crazy though, because we hadn't rented it. But after, you know, my mom came back or whatever, she had someone come like bless the house and stuff like that. And I don't know if it still was happening, but the only thing is that she had rented it to someone, and then, you know, person stayed for some time and then moved, and then my cousin was staying there, but she didn't have that experience anymore. But it's crazy, you know. It's like, ooh, these weird experiences. But if you hear knocks on the door, do not open the door because you're letting in. I'm telling you, that happened one time when my friend was here. She came to visit me, and she heard the knocks. Like after her husband came in, and it was 3 knocks. It's not good. So open the door, and I said you should open the door. So when I googled it, it said that you let the spirit in. After you let the spirit inside the house, I read that whoever opens the door, the spirit wants to take your life. So it's like, this is not a joke. But since it was her husband that opened the door, it wasn't me, because I know better not to open the door to nothing like that, because I know. So he opened the door and things started happening. First it was that she tried to open the door of her apartment. The key broke in the door. That's one thing that happened to her. The second one was that she called me, and she said that her slipper, it was like a sandal she had, it broke, and she called me to come to her so I could get her key to go to her apartment and get her sneakers. I was like, my goodness. And then she had a dream that her cat was at the window and it fell out. Mind you, her window was like this much. And what happened? It actually happened. Her cat fell out the window, and she came to my door. I said, if you had that dream and you saw the cat trying to go to the window, why would you not close the window? She's, you know, it's just the thing that you never expect something to happen, but it did. Her cat fell out the window, and we went to where her cat was, and I literally saw when the pupils of the cat changed. When it's like, you know how the soul leaves the body, you could actually see that. And I was like, wow. It's crazy though, because her cat passed at that moment, and I told her, you have to cleanse your house, do something, because whatever it is, since it wasn't me that opened the door, even though it happened here, but after her husband, it felt like it was with her husband. And after her husband opened the door, because I don't open the door if I hear something like that, but that happened. Don't mind my dog is barking. But please like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell when I'm on. And please share this video. I'm trying to share different topics, different things about stuff that, you know, happens. And I'm gonna pause it for a second. I just paused it because my mom just walked in, so she just came, and I just want to see who was at the door, because that's why my animals were barking. But now we know what it was. So I just wanted to share that story with you, because these weird experiences is like, never open the door when you hear 3 knocks. This is not good. And also when you hear a knock, especially on a table or something, that's like for you to know that either a friend, a close friend, or a family member is gonna pass. I remember when I heard a knock on my room. It was like on a table, and I didn't know what it meant, but I saw on TV someone had said they heard that, and you know, and I found out watching a show that that's what it meant. That's what it meant. So when a friend of mine, she was sick, she had cancer. The thing that happened was that I heard the knock, and I didn't know that it was gonna be her, like that was gonna happen. She had passed. It was like I went to visit her on Wednesday, and she passed on Friday. So that's what happened. She passed so fast. And then when my grandmother, I also heard the knock on the table, and I already knew someone was gonna pass. I just didn't know who. And I did tell my mom, you know, stay close to her, because you know my grandmother was older, and I had a feeling it had to be her. Who else would it be? So, you know, not even a month later, my grandmother passed. So that's something that happened. So keep an eye out on, you know, little things like that. And all I know is that from the experiences of, you know, when you experience stuff. Oh man, I gonna let y'all go. If you want to share more FYI gossips, so just keep watching. Don't forget to share like and subscribe. Bye for now.